Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you an Outback Bowl game preview between the South Carolina Gamecocks and the Michigan Wolverines. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with South Carolina.
You look at this matchup between South Carolina and Michigan, the key factor in this game is the defense of South Carolina, in particular the defensive ends, Jadeveon Clowney and also Devin Taylor. Can they play with discipline? Can they play with contain? They're going to have to keep Devin Gardner back there in the pocket, and when they utilize Denard Robinson, they're going to have to make sure they don't lose contain versus him. So the defensive end play will be key. Now for Michigan, their key is the passing game. Can they throw the football versus South Carolina? Because I think that's how they're going to have to move the rock up and down the field. The short to intermediate passing game will be key. If they can do that, they can have a great chance to win this game. Although I like South Carolina, I think they're able to move the football more effectively. They have a dual threat guy in Countershaw who can hit plays downfield more so than Michigan. So I trust the passing game of South Carolina more than I trust the passing game of the Wolverines. If you love football at its purest form, you're going to love the Rose Bowl matchup between Wisconsin and Stanford. Two outstanding running backs in this ball game, Monte Ball for Wisconsin and Stephen Taylor for Stanford. Now, the biggest key for Wisconsin, can they build on what they did defensively versus Nebraska? They struggled all year long defensively, but can they build on that? Also, can that offensive line have an encore performance? Now, for Stanford, we know they run that 3-4 defense. We know they love to get out their quarterback. They're going to have to make sure they slow down the running game, make this a passing match. And when you look at what they can do well, they can play with balance offensively. They can throw the football. They have an outstanding runner in Stephen Taylor, which is why I think Stanford will win this ball game. When it comes down to defense, you have to roll with the Cardinals. Keep an eye on senior Devin Taylor that plays opposite of Jadeveon Clowney, an outstanding defensive end prospect, but he's the direct beneficiary of one-on-one protection, so he does a great job of beating his man. He also is very solid versus the run and still has the athleticism to drop back in coverage. Keep an eye on him. Very intriguing prospect. And Taylor Lewin is one of the best tackles in this draft. 6'7", 310 pounds. Could challenge to be the first tackle taken. Is going to be between him and Luke Joko and Jake Matthews. Those guys will be first-round picks, but this guy is definitely one of the premier tackles at the collegiate level. Keep an eye on him handling Jadeveon Clowney in this matchup. Monte Ball is one of my favorite running backs you want to keep an eye on in this ball game. May not have the blazing speed as some, but he has everything that you want as a starting tailback at the next level. Vision, agility, shiftiness, downhill power, and he can catch, and he also can block. So the complete running back is Monte Ball, and a lot of people worry about the tread on the tires. Listen, the ball is not that heavy. This guy can carry the load. He's not been injured throughout his career, so that's why you have to like him moving forward. And Stanford running back Stephen Taylor is the Pierre Thomas of college football. This guy just does everything exceptionally well. May not do anything great and may not wow you, but he's going to be a productive runner at the next level. Might possibly be one of the first running backs taken in this year's draft. Zola Davis was definitely a campus legend from 95 to 97. Big playmaker out there at receiver for South Carolina and always had a flair for the dramatics. Tyrone Wheatley was one of those running backs that you did not want to tackle. Definitely a campus legend. Not only did he have amazing power, but he had breakaway blazing speed, which made him a dangerous runner out of the backfield. Was one of the greatest receivers in college football history. When you talk about having hops and being able to high point a football and catch it with his hands, you're talking about Al Toon. Like I said before, one of the more complete receivers I've ever seen play the game, and was definitely a campus legend for Wisconsin. And when you look at an all-purpose king, an all-purpose czar, you have to look at Glenn Milborn. From 90 to 92, you talk about a guy that did it out of the backfield, from a receiver, from a kick returner, as a punt returner, tremendous playmaker, and was definitely one of those campus legends that you knew would make the big play at the key moment of a ball game. We just want to wish everyone out there a happy new year, good luck in 2013, and thank you for always showing football game plan support.